Module 14. Motor Vehicles, Mechanized Equipment and Marine Operations, Rollover Protective Structures and Overhead Protection, and Signs, Signals and Barricades. Module Description. This module is intended for workers who need to know about motor vehicles, mechanized equipment, rollover protective structures, overhead protection, signs, signals, and barricades. We will be discussing motor vehicles, mechanized equipment, marine operations, rollover protective structures, overhead protection, signs, signals, and barricades in detail. This course will also cover the topics included in OSHA 29 CFR 1926 subparts O, motor vehicles, W, rollover protection, and G, signs, signals, and barricades. Module Learning Objectives. At the conclusion of this module, students will be able to identify OSHA standards for motor vehicle safety, demonstrate machine and equipment handling according to OSHA standards, describe how industrial tractors are regulated by OSHA, discuss the purpose of signs and barricades. Lesson 1. Motor Vehicles, Subpart O. Lesson Focus. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to describe the general requirements for the use of motor vehicles in construction, describe safety measures for operating material handling, braking equipment, identify proper access roadways and grades, explain when and why audible alarms are necessary, describe safety precautions that prevent struck by and caught in or between hazards. General requirements. Introduction. Braking systems. Seat belts. Headlights, tail lights, and brake lights. Audible warning devices. Obstructed view to the rear. Windshields. Cap shield. Transporting tools and materials. Transporting employees. Trucks with dump bodies. Operating levers. Dump truck trip handles. Mud flaps. Vehicle inspection. Access roadways and grades. No employer may move or cause construction equipment or vehicles to be moved on any access roadway or grade unless it is constructed and maintained to safely accommodate such movement. Every emergency access ramp and beam used by an employer must be constructed to restrain and control runaway vehicles. Audible alarms. All bidirectional machines, such as rollers, compactors, front-end loaders, bulldozers, and similar equipment, must be equipped with horns that can be heard over the surrounding noise levels. These horns must be operated as needed when machines are moved in either direction. They must always be kept operational. No employer should permit earth-moving or compacting equipment that is limited by an obstructed rear view to be used in reverse gear unless the equipment has a reverse signal alarm in operation that is distinguishable from the surrounding noise levels or an employee signals that it is safe to do so. Struck by and caught in or between hazards. Being struck by an object is one of the leading causes of construction-related deaths. Workers are most often struck by heavy equipment and vehicles, like trucks and cranes. Falling or flying objects, like tools and flying particles. Concrete or masonry walls that are being constructed. To prevent injury or death from being struck by a vehicle. Wear a seat belt. Seat belts save lives, both on the roadways and on construction sites. Note, don't wear one if the vehicle is only designed for standing up or if it has no rollover protective structure, like a roller used on paving jobs. Make sure that all vehicles are inspected before each shift. Everything should be in good working condition, including the brakes, before you begin work. Use your parking brake when the vehicle is not in use and chock the wheels if you are parked on an incline. Additionally, never lift or load more than the vehicle can hold. If you are driving a vehicle in reverse and you can't see behind you, be sure to have a reverse alarm that people can hear and have another worker signal to you that all is safe. Ensure that no one is in the way when you are using lifting and dumping devices. Get out and look for people and hazards. Don't drive vehicles in areas that are not safely constructed or maintained. When using lifting or dumping devices, make sure to clear all personnel and lower or block all blades. All forklift operators must be trained and certified. Inspect the equipment and follow all safe operating procedures. Drive slowly, and don't travel with elevated loads. Make sure all signal alarms work and watch for hazardous conditions, involving both workers and objects. If you are working in traffic, use traffic signs and barricades. Use flaggers if needed. Be sure to stay out of blind spots. Workers must wear high visibility clothing, like orange vests. If they are working at night, these must be of a reflective material. Use proper lighting when working at night. Use traffic barricades whenever possible. If you can't barricade the traffic, use heavy equipment with impact attenuators, crash cushions, within the work zone to protect you from moving traffic. Be alert for pedestrians in urban areas. To prevent injury or death from falling or flying objects. Inspect tools, cranes, and hoists to see that all are in good condition. Use tow boards, screens, debris nets, and guardrails on scaffolds to prevent tools' other items from falling from overhead work areas. If you are working underneath cranes, hoists, or scaffolds, never work under a suspended load. Barricade hazard areas and post warning signs. Don't exceed capacity, and don't assume the operator has seen you. Watch out for power lines, unstable soil, and high winds. Materials stored shall not be placed within 6 feet of hoistway floor openings, nor within 10 feet or an exterior wall which doesn't extend above material. Don't use hand tools with loose, cracked, or splintered handles or use impact tools with mushroomed heads. The head could fly off, striking you or others. Operators of powder-actuated tools, gunpowder, must be trained and licensed. Train all workers on safe operation of tools and inspect all tools before use. Train workers on the safe operation of power tools, such as saws, drills, and grinders. Inspect all tools before use and wear protective gear. Guard rotating and moving parts. All guards must be in place when tools are in use. Secure tools and other items to prevent them from falling on the people below. Stack and secure materials, even from wind gusts, to prevent sliding, falling, or collapse. And always keep areas clear of clutter. Use personal protective equipment to prevent injuries from falling or flying objects. Wear a hard hat, safety glasses, goggles, and face shields. Wear hearing protection when needed. Reduce compressed air used for cleaning to 30 pounds per square inch and only use it with the proper guards and other protective equipment. And never clean your clothing with compressed air. You could be injured by a particle driven into your eyes or skin by the force. Workers can be killed or seriously injured when they are building concrete or masonry walls. They can be struck by materials when the lifting equipment is putting the slabs in position, or when materials are not shored properly and are not yet stable. To prevent these kinds of accidents, don't place loads on concrete structures until someone who is qualified says that it's safe to do. Shore structures until permanent supporting elements are secured. Concrete should be tested to make sure it has enough support strength. Don't overload lifting devices and use automatic devices to support the forms in case the lifting mechanism fails. Use a personal fall arrest system, with full body harness, to protect you from falls if other fall protection is not available. In all of these situations, be sure that you are properly trained to do this work and you are trained on all of the equipment you use. Make sure that you and all other personnel are in the clear before using dumping or lifting devices. Wear high visibility clothing, such as red or orange vests, and reflective material if worn for night work. Case Study, NIOSH Face Report 2002-03. A 54-year-old male construction laborer was fatally injured when he was run over and crushed by a motor grader. At the time of the incident, the grader operator was driving the grader in reverse on a road under construction in a housing development. The victim and a co-worker were standing in the road at the rear of their parked pickup truck discussing the next stage of their work when the grader operator began backing in their direction. The co-worker saw the grader backing toward them and yelled to the operator to stop. The operator did not hear the warning. The back tire of the grader struck the victim, knocking him down. The operator stopped the grader when it struck the rear of the parked pickup truck. The victim was under the rear tire of the grader. The coworker told the operator to pull forward and then called 911 on his cell phone. Emergency medical services, EMS, and police personnel responded within minutes. Emergency care was initiated by EMS personnel and the victim was
Ovo je
transported to an
najgori,
area
znači
hospital
snaj
where
bio
he
bož.
died
Ne možeš
approximately
ništa
90
pogoditi, ne možeš
minutes
ništa
after the
probiti. Čovjek
incident.
izašao skroz sa strane,
Recommendations.
gađaš, ne možeš mu
Employers
ništa.
should develop,
Debilizam.
implement, and enforce a comprehensive written safety program for all workers that includes training in hazard recognition and the avoidance of unsafe conditions. Employers should conduct a pre-work safety meeting each day to discuss the work to be performed, potential safety hazards and safe work procedures, and the means to be used for communicating changes to the work plan. Employers should ensure that equipment is inspected daily and all defective equipment is removed from service until needed repairs have been made. Employers should ensure that required personal protective equipment is provided and used in accordance with company policy. Employers should consider installing strobe lights on company-owned pickup trucks used on road construction sites. Manufacturers of heavy equipment, such as graders, should explore the possibility of incorporating collision avoidance technology on their equipment. Introduction. Motor vehicles covered by Subpart O of the OSHA regulations are those vehicles that operate within an off-highway job site that is not open to public traffic. A majority of fatalities that occur in road construction work zones involve a worker being struck by a piece of construction equipment or another vehicle. If vehicle safety practices are not properly implemented, workers risk being pinned between construction vehicles and walls, struck by swinging backhoes, crushed beneath overturned vehicles, or struck by trucks or cars. Braking systems. All vehicles must have a service brake system, an emergency brake system, and a parking brake system. These systems can utilize common components and they must always be maintained in operable condition. Whenever the equipment is parked, the parking brake should be set. Equipment parked on incline should have the wheels chocked along with setting the parking brake. All equipment left unattended at night, adjacent to a highway in normal use, or adjacent to construction areas where work is in progress should have appropriate lights or reflectors to identify its location, or barricades equipped with appropriate lights or reflectors should be set up. Seat belts. Scrapers, loaders, crawler or wheel tractors, bulldozers, off-highway trucks, graders, agricultural and industrial tractors, and similar equipment must be equipped with seat belts except in the following cases. Seat belts need not be provided for equipment which is designed only for stand-up operation. Seat belts need not be provided for equipment which does not have a rollover protective structure, ROPS, or adequate canopy protection. Headlights, tail lights, and brake lights. Whenever visibility conditions warrant additional light, all vehicles in use must be equipped with at least 2 operable headlights and tail lights. All vehicles must also have brake lights in operable condition regardless of light conditions. Audible warning devices. All vehicles must be equipped with adequate audible warning devices at the operator station. These devices must be kept operational. Obstructed view to the rear. No employer should use any motor vehicle equipment having an obstructed view to the rear unless the vehicle has a reverse signal alarm audible above the surrounding noise levels. The vehicle is backed up only when a designated observer signals that it is safe to do so. Obstructed view to the rear. No employer should use any motor vehicle equipment having an obstructed view to the rear unless the vehicle has a reverse signal alarm audible above the surrounding noise levels. The vehicle is backed up only when a designated observer signals that it is safe to do so. Windshields. All vehicles with cabs must be equipped with windshields and powered wipers. Cracked and broken glass must be replaced. Vehicles operating in areas or under conditions that cause windshields to fog or frost must be equipped with operable defogging and defrosting devices. Lesson summary. A majority of fatalities that occur in road construction work zones involve a worker being struck by a piece of construction equipment or another vehicle. All vehicles must have a service brake system, an emergency brake system, and a parking brake system. These systems can utilize common components and they must always be maintained in operable condition. Scrapers, loaders, crawler or wheel tractors, bulldozers, off-highway trucks, graders, agricultural and industrial tractors, and similar equipment must be equipped with seat belts except in the following cases. Seat belts need not be provided for equipment which is designed only for stand-up operation. Seat belts need not be provided for equipment which does not have rollover protective structure, ROPS, or adequate canopy protection. Other standards that must be followed: layout requirements for the use of headlights, warning devices, windshields, and mud flaps, as well as the requirements for transporting employees. All bidirectional machines, such as rollers, compactors, front-end loaders, bulldozers, and similar equipment, must be equipped with horns that can be heard over the surrounding noise levels. Struck by and caught in or between injuries often result from vehicles. Lesson 2. Rollover protective structures for material handling, Subpart W. Lesson focus. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to explain how rollover protective structures, ROPS, work. Describe conditions when ROPS are required. Recognize proper labeling of ROPS. Introduction. Rollover protective structures, ROPS, are required for the following: rubber-tired, self-propelled scrapers, rubber-tired front-end loaders, rubber-tired dozers, wheel-type agricultural and industrial tractors, crawler tractors, crawler-type loaders, motor graders, with or without the attachments that are used in construction work. Note: this requirement does not apply to side boom pipe laying tractors. Case studies. Between 2000 and 2006, OSHA investigated over 50 rollover incidents that involved a variety of roller compactor makes and models. Of the rollover accidents investigated, 5 involved roller compactors with rollover protective structures, ROPS, where operators used the seat belts provided. None of these accidents resulted in a fatality. 19 involved roller compactors with ROPS, but seat belts were not used. In some cases, seat belts were not provided. In other cases, the seat belts provided were not used by the operators. 14 of these accidents resulted in fatalities. In a number of these cases, the operator was either ejected or jumped from the equipment and was pinned under or crushed by the ROPS. One case involved a pneumatic rubber-tired roller compactor where the ROPS and seatbelt had been removed prior to the accident. The operator involved was fatally injured in the accident. Fatal rollover due to missing safety features. Select the buttons below to explore the comic or get more details. Fatality due to missing safety equipment. In May 2005, an employee was fatally injured while operating a pneumatic rubber-tired roller compactor on a roadway during asphalt compacting. The roller compactor ran off the road and traveled down a 22-degree sloping embankment. It rolled over 1.5 times, coming to a stop on its roof. The operator was thrown from the machine and was fatally crushed between the machine and the ground. Although the roller compactor was originally equipped and sold with a ROPS and a seat belt, the ROPS and seat belt had been removed prior to the accident. Design of ROPS. Strength. Rollover protective structures and supporting attachments must be designed, fabricated, and installed in a manner that supports at least 2 times the weight of the prime mover applied at the point of impact based on the ultimate strength of the metal. Overturn. ROPS should be designed to minimize the likelihood of a complete overturn and thereby minimize the possibility of the operator being crushed as a result of a rollover or upset. The design must provide a vertical clearance of at least 52 inches from the work deck to the ROPS at the point of ingress or egress. Labeling. Each ROPS must have the following information permanently affixed to the structure: manufacturer's or fabricator's name and address, ROPS model number, if any, machine make, model, or series number that the structure is designed to fit. Activity. Rollover Protective Systems, ROPS, Practice Opportunity. Check to see what you know about ROPS. Read each scenario. Select questions to view and answer the related questions. Lesson summary. The design objective of scrapers, loaders, dozers, tractors, crawlers, and graders discussed must be to minimize the likelihood of a complete overturn and, thereby, minimize the possibility of the operator being crushed as a result of a rollover or upset. For this reason, rollover protective structures and supporting attachments must be designed, fabricated, and installed in a manner that supports based on the ultimate strength of the metal and at least 2 times the weight of the prime mover applied at the point of impact. Lesson 3. Signs, Signals, and Barricades, Subpart G. Lesson focus. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to recognize accident prevention signs and tags, including danger signs, caution signs, exit signs, safety instruction signs, directional signs, accident prevention tags. Accident prevention signs and tags. Safety signs, labels, tags, and markings play a key role in effectively communicating important safety information. They use visual cues to remind people of potential hazards and how to avoid them, point people to the location of emergency equipment, direct people's path to safety in an emergency situation, reinforce safety training programs. Signs are commonly used to warn about potential injury hazards. Signs and symbols should be visible at all times when work is being performed and must be removed or covered promptly when the hazards no longer exist. General policy safety signs inform and remind people of a company's expectations for safe behavior. Fire safety signs inform employees and firefighters about fire lanes and the location of firefighting equipment, emergency phones, risers, valve shutoffs, and disconnects. OSHA danger signs. Danger signs. Caution signs. Exit signs. Safety instruction signs. Directional signs. Traffic signs. Accident prevention tags. Danger signs. A danger sign must be used only where an immediate hazard exists. Danger indicates a hazardous situation which, if not avoided, will result in serious injury or death. Its use should be limited to the most extreme situations. Each danger sign must have red as the dominant color for the upper panel, a black outline on the borders, and a white lower panel for additional sign wording. Caution signs. Caution signs are used to warn against potential hazards or to caution against unsafe practices. Caution indicates a hazardous situation which, if not avoided, could result in minor or moderate injury. Every caution sign must have yellow as the dominant color, a black upper panel and borders, the word caution in yellow on the black panel, and a lower yellow panel for additional sign wording. Black lettering should be used for any additional wording. Exit signs. Exit signs guide people to a building's exits and to safety, and they assist rescue personnel in locating handicapped people in emergency situations. Exit signs must be lettered in legible red letters, not less than 6 inches high, on white fields with principal letter strokes of at least 3/4 of an inch in width. Safety instruction signs. Safety instruction signs define specific rules or procedures to follow to avoid causing a hazardous situation. Safety instruction signs, when used, must be white with green upper panels, using white letters for the primary message. Any additional wording on the signs must be in black letters on white backgrounds. Directional signs. Directional signs, other than automotive traffic signs, should be white with a black panel and a white directional symbol. Any additional wording on the sign must be in black letters on the white background. Traffic signs. Construction areas must be posted with legible traffic signs at points of hazard. Signs can convey both general and specific information by means of words or symbols, and they have the same 3 categories as all road signs: regulatory, warning, and guide. Regulatory, which direct normal traffic, for example, a stop sign. Guide, which inform travelers of where they are going, such as a sign for a hospital or airport. Warning, which warn travelers of upcoming hazards, such as a pedestrian crossing. All signs used at night must be either reflective or illuminated. Signs should be covered or removed when work is not in progress. Signs should not be located on sidewalks, bicycle facilities, or areas designated for pedestrian or bicycle traffic. Ground-mounted signs installed at the side of the road in rural areas must be mounted at a height of at least 7 feet from the bottom of the sign to the ground. Accident prevention tags. Accident prevention tags must be used as a temporary means of warning employees of an existing hazard, such as defective tools, equipment, etc. They must not be used in place of, or as a substitute for, accident prevention signs. These use some of the same colors and designs as danger and caution signs and may warn against such hazards as radiation and high-voltage electricity. Practice opportunity. Heavy equipment hazards. Instructions. Check to see if you know the dangers associated with heavy equipment, and the types of signs you might see at a construction site. Answer each question with the best options available. Lesson summary. A danger sign must be used only where an immediate hazard exists. Danger indicates a hazardous situation which, if not avoided, will result in serious injury or death. Caution signs are used to warn against potential hazards or to caution against unsafe practices. Caution indicates a hazardous situation which, if not avoided, could result in minor or moderate injury. Safety instruction signs define specific rules or procedures to follow to avoid causing a hazardous situation. Construction areas must be posted with legible traffic signs at points of hazard. Signs can convey both general and specific information by means of words or symbols and have the same three categories as all road signs: regulatory, warning, and guide. Accident prevention tags must be used as a temporary means of warning employees of an existing hazard, such as defective tools, equipment, etc. They must not be used in place of, or as a substitute for, accident prevention signs.
Zašto mene jebeni majmun sprečava da zakepam? Šta on ima od toga? Pita me se sada test radim. Posao sam napravio.
Module 15. Safety and Health Programs. Module Description. Have you ever been injured on the job? Do you know what steps to take in the event of sickness, injury, or DIOT due to your workplace environment? More importantly, do you know how to protect yourself, as well as others, and help promote healthy working conditions? Every year, more than 50,000 workers die from exposure to various hazards in the workplace. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is committed to saving lives, preventing injuries, and protecting the health of workers all across America. This module will show you how to identify workplace hazards and become involved with ensuring healthy and safe working environments. Module Learning Objectives. At the conclusion of this module, students will be able to describe the importance of effective safety and health programs, summarize the common characteristics of exemplary workplaces, explain the general guidelines of an effective safety and health program, Discuss the major elements of an effective safety and health program. Name the state programs. List consultation services. Describe the Voluntary Protection Program, VPP. Discuss the Safety and Health Achievement Recognition Program, SHARP. Describe the Strategic Partnership Program.
Jebote, žbunte, jebore, tardirani ovdje. Ne možeš raspotati zbog jednog žbuna retardiranoga.
Lesson 1. Effective Program Elements. Lesson Focus. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to explain the importance of having effective safety and health programs, identify common characteristics of exemplary workplaces, describe OSHA's general guidelines for safety and health programs, identify the major elements of an effective safety and health program, which include management leadership, worker participation, hazard identification and assessment, hazard prevention and control, safety and health training, general guidelines.
Ajde,
An
sad
effective
zađi.
program includes
Udrite
provisions
ga,
for
vola
systematic
sad.
identification, evaluation, and prevention or control of hazards. It should go beyond specific requirements of the law to address any and
Ajde
all
ti ga jedan,
hazards that
ajde ti
might
se
be
prodaj.
present. As the size and complexity of the worksite or process increases, so does the need for written guidance. Some individual OSHA standards
Ne
require
znam
a
šta
written
sam tu
program
radio,
be
hvala.
created. Taken in whole, these individual written programs will often form the basis of the facility safety program. Effective management of worker safety and health programs reduces the extent and severity of work-related injuries and illnesses, improves employee morale and productivity, reduces workers' compensation
ja
costs,
tebe. To je
organized
to,
and
znači
systematic
gledaj
methods are
ti
used to
ovoga tenka,
assign
znači nema
responsibility
kapice,
to
nema tumora,
managers,
nema ništa,
supervisors, and
a
employees,
oni napravi najnoviji
regularly
tank sa
inspect for
tumorom
hazards and
4
control the
km
hazard,
visokim.
regularly reevaluate the effectiveness of existing programs, orient and train all employees to eliminate or avoid hazards. Case study. Select the buttons below to explore the comic or get more details. Major elements. An effective occupational safety and health program will include the following elements: management leadership, worker participation, hazard identification and assessment, hazard prevention and control, safety and health training. We will now discuss each of these 5 elements in detail. Management leadership. Management provides the leadership, vision, and resources needed to implement an effective safety and health program. Management leadership means that business owners, managers, and supervisors make worker safety and health a core organizational value, are fully committed to eliminating hazards, protecting workers, and continuously improving workplace safety and health, provide sufficient resources to implement and maintain the safety and health program, visibly
Bravo.
demonstrate and
Ostavite
communicate their
brdo
safety and health commitment to
slobodno.
workers and others, set an example through their own actions. The following are
Debilčine
actions employers
jedne
can take to
debilne,
demonstrate their
Bog te jebu.
leadership in health and safety. Action 1. Communicate your commitment to a safety and health program. Action 2. Define program goals. Action 3. Allocate resources. Action 4. Expect performance. Worker participation. To be effective, any safety and health program needs the meaningful participation of workers and their representatives. Workers have much to gain from a successful program and the most to lose if the program fails. They also often know the most about potential hazards associated with their jobs. Successful programs tap into this knowledge base. Worker participation means that workers are involved in establishing, operating, evaluating, and improving the safety and health program. All workers at a worksite should participate, including those employed by contractors, subcontractors, and temporary staffing agencies. See communication and coordination for host employers, contractors, and staffing agencies. In an effective safety and health program, all workers are encouraged to participate in the program and feel comfortable providing input and reporting safety or health concerns. Have access to information they need to participate effectively in the program. Have opportunities to participate in all phases of program design and implementation. Do not experience retaliation when they raise safety and health concerns, report injuries, illnesses, and hazards, participate in the program, or exercise safety and health rights. Note: worker participation is vital to the success of safety and health programs. Where workers are represented by a union, it is important that worker representatives also participate in the program, consistent with the rights provided to worker representatives under the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970 and the National Labor Relations Act. The following are actions employers can take to ensure workers buy into a health and safety program. Action 1. Encourage workers to participate in the program. Action 2. Encourage workers to report safety and health concerns. Action 3. Give workers access to safety and health information. Action 4. Involve workers in all aspects of the program. Action 5. Remove barriers to participation. Action 1. Encourage workers to participate in the program. By encouraging workers to participate in the program, management signals that it values their input into safety and health decisions. Give workers the necessary time and resources to participate in the program. Acknowledge and provide positive reinforcement to those who participate in the program. Maintain an open-door policy that invites workers to talk to managers about safety and health and to make suggestions.
Jebote, amo, rekli te jebo pičke maten, odmah znam da
Action
neće biti
2.
dobro.
Encourage workers to report safety and health concerns. Workers are often best positioned to identify safety and health concerns and program shortcomings, such as emerging workplace hazards, unsafe conditions, close calls near misses, and actual incidents. By encouraging reporting and following up promptly on all reports, employers can address issues before someone gets hurt or becomes ill. Establish a process for workers to report injuries, illnesses, close calls near misses, hazards, and other safety and health concerns, and respond to reports promptly. Include an option for anonymous reporting to reduce fear of retaliation. Report back to workers routinely and frequently about action taken in response to their concerns and suggestions. Emphasize that management will use reported information only to improve workplace safety and health, and that no worker will experience retaliation for bringing such information to management's attention. Empower all workers to initiate or request a temporary suspension or shutdown of any work activity or operation they believe to be unsafe. Involve workers in finding solutions
Are
to
you
reported
fucking
issues.
kidding me? Sad je on meni tu znači katastrofa. Od ovoga ne mogu ništa da pogodim.
Action 3. Give workers access to safety and health information. Sharing relevant safety and health information with workers fosters trust and helps organizations make more informed safety and health decisions. Give workers the information they need to understand safety and health hazards and control measures in the workplace. Some OSHA standards require employers to make specific types of information available to workers, such as safety data sheets, SDS. Injury and illness data may need to be redacted and aggregated to eliminate personal identifiers. Results of environmental exposure monitoring conducted in the workplace prevent disclosure of sensitive and personal information as required. Other useful information for workers to review can include chemical and equipment manufacturers' safety recommendations, workplace inspection reports, incident investigation reports, prevent disclosure of sensitive and personal information as required, workplace job hazard analyses. Action 4. Involve workers in all aspects of the program. Including worker input at every step of program design and implementation improves your ability to identify the presence and causes of workplace hazards, creates a sense of program ownership among workers, enhances their understanding of how the program works, and helps sustain the program over time. Provide opportunities for workers to participate in all aspects of the program, including develop the program and set goals, report hazards and develop solutions that improve safety and health, analyze hazards in each step of routine and non-routine jobs, tasks, and processes, define and document safe work practices, conduct site inspections, develop and revise safety procedures, participate in incident and close call near-miss investigations, train current coworkers and new hires, develop, implement, and evaluate training programs, evaluate program performance and identify ways to improve it, take part in exposure monitoring and medical surveillance associated with health hazards. Action 5. Remove barriers to participation. To participate meaningfully in the program, workers must feel that their input is welcome, their voices will be heard, and they can access reporting mechanisms. Participation will be suppressed if language, education, or skill levels in the workplace are not considered, or if workers fear retaliation or discrimination for speaking up. For example, if investigations focus on blaming individuals rather than the underlying conditions that led to the incident, or if reporting an incident or concern could jeopardize the award of incentive-based prizes, rewards, or bonuses. To remove barriers to participation, consider the following. Ensure that workers from all levels of the organization can participate, regardless of their skill level, education, or language. Provide frequent and regular feedback to show employees that their safety and health concerns are being heard and addressed. Authorize sufficient time and resources to facilitate worker participation. For example, hold safety and health meetings during regular working hours. Ensure that the program protects workers from retaliation for reporting injuries, illnesses, and hazards, participating in the program, or exercising their safety and health rights. Ensure that other policies and programs do not discourage worker participation. Post the 11C fact sheet, found at whistleblowers.gov, in the workplace or make it easily available. Note: incentive programs, such as point systems, awards, and prizes, should be designed in a manner that does not discourage injury and illness reporting, otherwise, hazards may remain undetected. Although sometimes required by law or insurance providers, mandatory drug testing following injuries can also suppress reporting. Effective safety and health programs recognize positive safety and health activities, such as reporting hazardous conditions or suggesting safer work procedures. Action 1. Communicate your commitment to a safety and health program. A clear, written policy helps you communicate that safety and health is a primary organizational value, as important as productivity, profitability, product or service quality, and customer satisfaction. Establish a written policy signed by top management describing the organization's commitment to safety and health and pledging to establish and maintain a safety and health program for all workers. Communicate the policy to all workers and, at appropriate times and places, to relevant parties, including contractors, subcontractors, staffing agencies, and temporary workers at your work sites, suppliers and vendors, other businesses in a multi-tenant building, visitors, customers. Reinforce management commitment by considering safety and health in all business decisions, including contractor and vendor selection, purchasing, and facility design and modification. Be visible in operations and set an example by following the same safety procedures you expect workers to follow. Begin work meetings with a discussion or review of safety and health indicators and any outstanding safety items on a to-do list. Action 2. Define program goals. By establishing specific goals and objectives, management sets expectations for managers, supervisors, and workers, and for the program overall. The goals and objectives should focus on specific actions that will improve workplace safety and health. Establish realistic,
Lažeš
measurable
me,
goals for improving
lažeš me,
safety and
jebem
health.
ti sunce,
Goals emphasizing
lažeš.
injury and illness prevention should be included rather than focusing on injury and illness rates. Develop plans to achieve the goals by assigning tasks and responsibilities to particular people, setting timeframes, and determining resource needs.
Are you fucking kidding me? Lebe, dragi. Jebote sunce. Ne znam šta ti hoćeš sa mnom. Daj mi još jedan šat.
Hazard identification and assessment. One of the root causes of workplace injuries, illnesses, and incidents is the failure to identify or recognize hazards that are present or that could have been anticipated. A critical element of any effective safety and health program is a proactive, ongoing process to identify and assess such hazards. To identify and assess hazards, employers and workers should collect and review information about the hazards present or likely to be present in the workplace. Conduct initial and periodic workplace inspections of the workplace to identify new or recurring hazards. Investigate injuries, illnesses, incidents, and close calls near misses to determine the underlying hazards, their causes, and safety and health program shortcomings. Group similar incidents and identify trends in injuries, illnesses, and hazards that are reported. Consider hazards associated with emergency or non-routine situations. Determine the severity and likelihood of incidents that could result from each hazard identified and use this information to prioritize corrective actions. Some hazards, such as housekeeping and tripping hazards, can and should be fixed as they are found. Fixing hazards on the spot emphasizes the importance of safety and health and takes advantage of a safety leadership opportunity. The following actions can be taken to identify hazards at a worksite. Action 1. Collect existing information about workplace hazards. Action 2. Inspect the workplace for safety hazards. Action 3. Identify health hazards. Action 4. Conduct incident investigations. Action 5. Identify hazards associated with emergency and non-routine situations. Action 6. Characterize the nature of identified hazards, identify interim control measures, and prioritize the hazards for control.